Hello. Today we will learn about OpenAI's new model O3. As the slide title says, let's see just how remarkable this overwhelming O3 truly is. First, what is O3? This model, unveiled by OpenAI CEO Sam Altman on December 20, surprised the industry by scoring very high in various benchmarks. For example, it achieved as much as 75.7% or 87.5% in the ARC AGI test. They differentiated between limited and unlimited computing cost versions for the experiments, which stands in stark contrast the existing GPT-4o that managed only. Let's see why this score is significant. A high score on scales like ARC AGI suggests it is one step closer to human-level abstract thinking and generalization ability, so-called AGI. AGI refers to a single software that can perform most economically valuable cognitive tasks at or beyond human capability. However, scholars like Gary Marcus still question whether it's excessively optimized for the test. In fact, there are weaknesses such as O3 giving incorrect answers in visual reasoning problems that humans can solve easily. Francois Cholet pointed out that ARC AGI is not a universal scale that can prove AGI. Other words, even if O3 scores highly, it's a separate question whether it is genuinely intelligent, like a human in all areas. The key is that O3 introduces a cost structure different from traditional software. Normal software incurs almost no cost to replicate once developed. However, O3 requires a lot of computing power during the inference process, so the more it is used, the more it costs. It is said that achieving 87.5% on ARC AGI cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. So companies adopting it must plan new budgets accordingly. AGI might arrive earlier than expected, but its overall impact could be less than we think. Sam Altman of OpenAI made this argument, which initially seemed odd but is gaining credibility. Even if the technology itself becomes extremely advanced, if the cost of running it is excessively high, companies will be reluctant to adopt it. Ultimately, even if a perfect AGI emerges, it's expected that a hybrid model, where AI and humans work together, will continue rather than immediately replacing human workers. Although AI models are rapidly evolving, actual adoption by companies is relatively slow. Even if productivity rises, if outputs are inaccurate or unexpected errors occur, human review is still necessary. Therefore, rather than explosive automation, we expect a gradual process where only certain parts of work get replaced at a time. OpenAI announced that in 2025, it will transition from a non-profit to a Delaware public benefit corporation B Corp. This indicates that the current non-profit structure is limiting its ability to attract large-scale investment. They recently secured an additional $6.6 billion, but it is said they need even more enormous capital to achieve AGI. In other words, OpenAI is likely to become more conventional and commercial moving forward. This slide covers the contract between Microsoft and OpenAI. They define AGI as a technology that can potentially generate $100 billion a year in profits. Other words, an interesting viewpoint that you have to make a lot of money to be considered real AGI. Currently, OpenAI is operating at a deficit of billions of dollars, so it will take time to reach this goal. We also hear that the two companies are renegotiating their deal, so we'll have to see what impact it has on the market. This is about U.S. government personnel and AI policy issues. David Sachs, who was appointed by President Trump as chief of AI and cryptocurrencies, reportedly ended up serving in more of an advisory capacity. Instead, Michael Kratsios and Sriram Krishnan are now leading AI policy. However, Krishnan's past support of immigration policies, specifically expanding visas for high-skilled talent, has drawn criticism from some far-right groups. It's a case illustrating how US AI competitiveness and immigration policy are interlinked. The Chinese startup DeepSeek has introduced a new AI model called V3. It reportedly outperforms top models from Meta or Alibaba and is comparable to OpenAI's GPT-4o or Anthropic's Claude 3.5, yet its training cost was only $5.58 million. They achieved this despite US GPU export restrictions, which showcases the formidable AI optimization capabilities of Chinese companies. This is the final slide. Data center power demand is projected to skyrocket in the future. According to the Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory of the U.S. Department of Energy, centers used 1.9% of America's electricity. By 2028, this could rise from 6% up to as high as 12%. With the simultaneous adoption of AI electric vehicles, manufacturing reshoring hydrogen fuel, widespread industrial electrification, investment in power infrastructure is expected to become urgent. That concludes our look at O3 and AI trends. Thank you.